The world is still a Dukhalaya. I mean, last time I checked, it was Dukhalaya. I don't know if it has become Sukhalaya. So they make so many plans. Let's not discuss into those plans, but unlimited plans are there. Every moment, some materialist is making some kind of a plan, making world the better place. Recently, I got a photo on my WhatsApp. He said that in 2040 I'm going to die because the doctor who is operating me passed his medical examination using ChatGPT. So I was just thinking, ChatGPT is another plan of the demons to make themselves comfortable. No need to study, no need to write. Just go to the ChatGPT, say something, especially essay writing, for children. One of my nephew is using it also. So my nephew, he's getting assignments to write about so many things, and he just uses ChatGPT. So what is the future? He has tried to make himself comfortable, but this comfort is going to kill him. And that killer is known as Durga. She will come with her trident. Srila Prabhupada explains in a lecture that Durga, she is riding a lion. The lion represents killer of the mode, people in the mode of passion and ignorance. And Mother Durga, she kills people even in the mode of goodness also. Those who are not transcendental are all killed. They're all demons. Those who are not Krishna conscious, they're all demons. Once I said this in a Gita course, my attendance reduced in the next class. But what to do? This is the reality. Divine and demoniac natures. Mother Durga, she in one hand she is holding the trident, and with the other hand she is holding the hair of the demon. And the demon is being killed. What will happen if the demon tries to show more force, if he tries to make more plans? This demon has forgotten that Mother Durga has 8 other hands also, with 8 other weapons in it. The more plans he makes, the more will be the onslaught. So therefore, the more we try to advance materially, the more we try to adjust the resources around us so that we can become happy without becoming Krishna conscious, the more the onslaught will be, and the more the bloodshed will be, the more the suffering will be. So therefore, it is predicted that as the Kali Yuga will progress, people will make more finer and finer plans to become happy in this material world without becoming Krishna conscious. So the onslaught will become more and more severe. There will be acid rains. It will spoil the vegetation. There will be no food. There will be no grains. There will be no cows, no milk. Just I will eat you and you will eat me. That will be the situation. So therefore, this world can never become a Sukhalaya. A person who has at least once in his life taken shelter of the holy name, knowingly or unknowingly, at least once in their life they have offered some respect to Lord Chaitanya, and at least once in their life they have heard the message of Lord Chaitanya, they have a very good hope. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye. Amongst thousands of men, one will understand what is the purpose of life, and very few among them will understand what is Krishna consciousness. But this ratio of thousands has changed in Kali Yuga because of the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. It is no longer Manushyanam Sahasresha. Anybody who at least once somehow or the other hears about Lord Chaitanya and his message and chants Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Then there is no reason why everybody in Kali Yuga cannot become a pure devotee of the Lord. This is the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. That which is not possible, that which is at the level of Manushyanam Sahasreshu can become, all the people can become God conscious. So this needs to be executed. So therefore, Prahlad Maharaj, he was very, very happy and simultaneously unhappy. He was very happy because he was Krishna conscious. And Prahlad Maharaj says in the 7th canto, 9th chapter, 43rd verse, O best of the great personalities, I am not at all afraid of material existence. For wherever I stay, I am fully absorbed in the thoughts of your glories and activities. So he is perfectly happy. Nobody is happier than Prabhupada and Prahlad Maharaj. But Srila Prabhupada and Prahlad Maharaj both are unhappy also simultaneously. Why? Because my concern is only for the fools and rascals who are making elaborate plans for material happiness and maintaining their families, societies, and countries. I am simply concerned with love for them. So, after reading this Bhagavatam verse, as followers in the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada, what we should do or what I should do is that first of all, there's a general saying that a person who is not happy himself cannot make others happy. So first of all, I should try to become happy by becoming Krishna conscious. And then simultaneously as I'm happy, I should experience that unhappiness which others are experiencing. Because a Vaishnava is a par dukkha dukkhi. I should first of all experience that transcendental uncontaminated bliss by following the process of Krishna consciousness, by following the instructions of the spiritual master. And at the same time, I should feel great unhappiness all the time. For all the, in the words of Srila Prabhupada, fools and rascals who are simply busy making elaborate plans, just trying to make this dukhale a sukhale without taking permission from Krishna. So this should be the takeaway for myself after reading this verse. It's just a one-line purport, so I would like to stop the discussion here. But if there are any questions or comments, they are welcome. Reflections also. Questions, Sadhu?
Regarding Charva, I heard somewhere that names also given in the scriptures and this philosophy is also given. So why is it given?
See, in the scriptures, people are mentioned, names are given, philosophies are given for us to understand. If we see the truth, then also we need to understand what is the falsity. Similarly, we see the transcendental point or the transcendental literatures, we need to also understand how bad materialism is. So the name of Charvak Muni is there. By the way, I'm not aware in which scripture it is, but it must be there in Charvak Samhita or something like that. I don't know. Charvak Muni is a very, very top class example of a person who is in ignorance and he's thinking that is bliss. Apashyatam Atma Tattvam. You want to say something? So he is a Muni. What is the definition of a Muni? A Muni means one who can agitate his mind at a particular subject matter in a way in which nobody else has been able to do till now. So he becomes a Muni. A scientist is a Muni. For example, a scientist takes his flower, this flower, and he'll be able to give some nice analogy and nice thesis. So he'll become a Muni. Another scientist will take the same flower and add something to the existing thesis, so he becomes another Muni. So just because Charvak is a Muni doesn't mean that we need to follow him. We give him the credit that yes, Krishna gave you intelligence and you wasted it. Because not everybody can become a Muni also. Many people are just gokharas, they just follow. But Charvak Muni was given that intelligence by which he could think, he could speak, he could create something, and know so many people want to follow it and feel happy about it. So utterly he wasted his intelligence. And this is a very, very good example. For example, we also have personalities like Puranjan. We also have personalities like, who have done massive sense gratification like Maharaj Yayati. He went to his son Puru and he said that give me your youth for a few days, I want to enjoy for some more time. But when I was reading, I read that he enjoyed for 1000 years. He cheated his son. His son would have thought maybe 2 saal, 1 saal, 1 mahina. Huh? फिर भी 1000 years, bro. Maharaj Yadu, refused our Maharaj Yati, saying that the time which I will lose while you will take my youth, uh, in that time I will not be able to practice renunciation. And Srila Prabhupada explains the Varnashram system, how it is impossible to experience various stages of Varnashram for a person, an ordinary person, especially who is as a king, because a king has to set the right example. So the time which we have in life has to be used to practice bhakti so that knowledge and renunciation comes. So Maharaj Yadu gave this reason. Also Maharaj Yadu was aware that in my dynasty, after some time, the Supreme Personality of Godhead will appear. So why I should lose this 1000 years of practice of Bhakti Yoga, which will give me Gyan and Vairagya, and why I should lose that time and why I should delay the advent of Krishna. But this Puru, he thought that, okay, I should give my father everything, he is my father. And then he lost 1000 years and he did not advance spiritually so much. Although his father made him the king, but he did not advance spiritually. So Charvak Muni did not advance spiritually in his life and cannot teach anybody anything about spiritual advancement. Rather, like we say, he has given eternal shelter to all those people who do not want to advance spiritually. What is this line? Very nice line it was. Bhasmi bhutasya dehasya kuta punar agamano bhavit. Who knows what will happen to me after death? So अच्छे से खाओ, अच्छे से सो जाओ. So these names are there in the scriptures just to make us understand that these kind of fools also exist. And these kind of fools have massive fan following.
That's what like my cousin was telling me, Charvak is also there. Like that when I was telling about Krishna consciousness, like.
Yeah, we should talk about the meaning of the word Muni to him. We can say that Osama bin Laden is also a Muni because he thought some unique plan to kill so many people which nobody could think till now. So, any other questions?
What is good guru and bad guru?
There is a very famous misleading swindler who calls himself Good Guru.
Good guru. All misleading people are bad only.
Bad only, but he calls himself Good Guru. And people, just like when they see Gai ka Shuddh Desi Ghee, and they think this is the absolute truth. Let me go and buy ghee from here and get cheated. So this is not Satyuga. If somebody starts calling himself Good Guru or Sadguru or Bad Guru or Asad Guru, that doesn't mean that whatever they say is the truth. And people get misled. And Prabhupada is told, because of the bad system of education and because of people who misguide, people of Kali Yuga are suffering more. So it is my solemn, personal, sacred responsibility to establish the right system of education in line of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. And it is my personal responsibility to expose all these people who are misguiding the society. And so therefore I try to speak about this. Any other questions?
Explain the Muni. What is the meaning of Muni?
Meaning of Muni. So Muni means a person who can take some subject matter. It can be anything. Need not be transcendental subject matter. It can be anything. A flower, a grass, a mridanga, a mobile, a star, the Supreme Lord, whatever. And they can take that subject matter and they can think in a particular direction which no one else has thought till now. In fact, a person cannot become a Muni unless and until he has done something different or proposed something different from the other existing Munis. It's just like a scientist or like writing a PhD thesis. No matter what your PhD thesis is, whether it is like how a frog jumps from one place to another place. I mean, how will this subject matter help the human society? But you write a thesis on it. And the previous scientist has been able to tell this much and you add something more to it, you become a Muni. These days, Munis are called as doctor. Did you understand?
But it can be spiritually also.
It can be spiritual also, it can be material also. What I am trying to say is that let's not be misled by the word Muni. Simply if someone is Muni, it does not mean that I have to surrender my life to that person. I have to surrender my life to Narad Muni and not to Charvak Muni. That is the understanding. Okay, we'll take some reflections. Hope there are no more questions.
So this dharma can only be given by God, and nobody can create his own dharma. But then in Kali Yuga, like so many dharmas have been created. So that's a nice point. And the more we become enjoyers, more we try to possess things. So lust, greed, and anger will increase in us, and sense gratification is the source of envy towards the Lord. So these are some points I could.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for such a nice class. This was a nice reminder that in the age of Kali, we have to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and worship the kings of Kali Yuga, that is Gauranga and Nityananda, and also read and understand and implement their teachings in life. That was a nice reminder, because that is the only way by which we can go back home, back to God. There is no other way in the age of Kali. When you spoke about Chat GPT, so on Sunday we had elaborate discussion on this in one of the place where all big shots were there, so they were sharing. It seems the inventor of AI resigned from his position, looks like. They were sharing about this. And they were saying that why he resigned, because he was thinking that I became the cause of destruction. I did not make this for this particular thing. Because now whatever this Chat GPT is doing, it seems you put something, whatever you want, and then the drawings are coming out and everything. So creativity and the thought process, everything is curbed by this. So actually it's a destruction, but still there are few devotees who want to do something in AI and contribute something in AI. So I always say, may the Lord give them some RI, real intelligence. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for the very nice class. So, in the class, you gave the analogy of a servant who runs away with the car, thinking of the facilities, and but the servant don't know, there's a trouble waiting for him in three ways. So that was a very nice analogy you gave. And one more point which I liked was about the Prahlad Maharaj, how he's simultaneously he's happy and but still he's not happy. He is happy that he is very Krishna consciousness and he is practicing very nicely. And one more thing is like he was not happy because by seeing the people around who are not able to take to this Krishna consciousness, so he was very much worried about that. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Pranam. You said about Lord Chaitanya in this Kali Yuga. In this Kali Yuga, is everyone can, if possible, everyone can chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Everybody can be becomes Krishna consciousness, and this is the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But the unfortunate souls, in the influence of Maya, some unfortunate souls, they will deviated from this path and they didn't understand this. If somebody take this Krishna conscious, somebody chants Hare Krishna, then they'll become Krishna conscious. This is the mercy. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for a nice class. So the point which you made in the last first, that the real enjoyment is to cooperate in the enjoyment of Krishna. So that is the real enjoyment. The more I engage in sense gratification, the more I'll get entangled in this lust, greed and anger. So it should be reduced very much. And the point which struck me a lot is there is no reason that why everyone can't become pure devotee of the Lord. So there is a Lord's Chaitanya's mercy is there. So Lord Chaitanya's mercy is there. So you have to have faith on Lord Chaitanya, worship him and chant Hare Krishna daily. Thank you, Guruji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So as you mentioned, very nice point that why people have become lazy is because of the bad system of education and because of lack of propagation of Krishna consciousness. So this is our duty to revive this transcendental system of education and also speak about absolute truth, speak what is from the scriptures, expose the people who are doing wrong. Hare Krishna.
Harish Prabhuji, thank you so much for a nice class. The three important points you mentioned about chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, worshipping Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, and to read the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, that's something that I should focus upon. And the example of you meeting the deaf person, and that's a very nice point, Prabhuji, where like I must develop gratitude for whatever has been given to me, and like there are so many people out there who are suffering. They don't have, like this example where he's not even able to hear the Maha Mantra or hear the teachings of the Acharyas. So that is a very nice point, that I must be grateful for whatever has been given to me and try my best to like exploit my senses in devotional like trying to perform devotional service. I have to use my senses to the extremes and use them only for devotional service. Thank you so much for that, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for nice class, Prabhuji. So you have mentioned like sense gratification is the root cause for the enviousness. That is very nice points. And also you told like how to overcome the ahankara vimanatma. Like Prabhuji told, like worshipping the Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda Mahaprabhu and chanting the glories and like Gauravani. And also you told like we are so fortunate, like we are able to hear the holy names. Like you given the very nice example towards the blind man. Just day before yesterday also I heard like from one of our Festival of Enlightenment fellows, like his mother is suffering now cancer. So now the countdown also started. Also yesterday also I heard one more our devotees also suffering started. It's the initial stage. So now the countdown started for their lives. So how many days I don't know. As per I know some knowledge about these things. So we have to be concentrate about our holy names so that how far capable we can hear the holy names, each syllables. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. आपने बताया कि now the lifetime become short because of the irregulative lifespan. The in Kali Yuga, bad education kill the self-realization knowledge. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, you mentioned like how Maya cheats us by giving a glimpse of happiness. It is in mode of passion and ignorance, and at the end it is very poisonous. So, and also you mentioned if we very widely discuss and propagate this message of Krishna consciousness, so all the misguidance that is there in this age of Kali will be. And you mentioned Prajalpa is a hindrance in Krishna consciousness. We get the kick in discussing Gramya Katha. So hearing is great benediction and it should be used properly, hearing about Krishna Katha. And you mentioned those who are not Krishna conscious are demons. Hare Krishna.
So I would like to end today's discussion with a short proposal, implementation of which is not a one man's work. But I would like to propose that there is a huge section of people on this planet who actually cannot hear, but they can understand sign language. So if a group of devotees, and now this sign language, according to my knowledge, is different. It's not like a universal sign language. It's different for different cultures and different countries and different languages. If some devotees can take up this task of learning the sign language and helping these deaf people to at least hear about Krishna. There can be, like we have seen news, the news comes when a person is delivering news, but then there is a small window where the translation going on. So if we can, we make our buildings wheelchair accessible, if we make our lectures and classes accessible to deaf people, and if we advertise that, and that will be a great service, because these deaf people are completely left out and no one cares for them, and they have no spiritual subject matter to hear. They also want to come sit with devotees, they also want to eat prasad, they also want to talk, they also want to hear live, but the only resource they have is Prabhupada's books. Of course, that is fully sufficient, but they are losing out a lot of spiritual engagement because of their being deaf. So if something can be done in this regard, I am 100% sure that Prabhupada will feel very happy. Thank you very much. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.